Hello, subscribers and listeners. I'm back on the black microphone,
So I'm Demetrius,
and I'm Demetrius,
and Meet Your Mates presents.
a Blur City podcast.
All right, so we are here. If you've seen the title, listen to the intro to do Black Phone 2, a movie that we were both caught off guard that they were making a sequel to, but rather happily excited to be doing that. Also, the Afro Puff Samurai was kidnapped. We don't, after all the slander from last week's episode, you can check that out.
Yeah, we knew it was about to happen, but dang, I didn't expect him to act that quickly.
I mean, you saw what happened to her laptop when we were recording.
Again, I expect them to act for her that quickly. I thought she would at least got a week.
All right, so let's get into this review. But before we do that, let's hit us with the legal spiegel.
Yeah, the purpose of this podcast is to explore digital and print media. All sources we reference are owned by their respective companies, and our thoughts and opinions are strictly our own and reflect no biases or corporate agendas. Your discretion is advised.
Again, we are doing the Black Phone 2 review. So with that, this is obviously a sequel to the previous movie, Black Phone. So definitely. So before we get into it, what were your thoughts on the previous movie? We did do a Patreon only exclusive for that. I know we both enjoyed it, but if you just want to share it with the people.
Oh yeah, I actually like really like the original Black Phone movie because it like takes the I well firstly it comes from a short story, but I like the fact that it takes the supernatural element of it and not tie it to the main antagonist. Like have it be one of their abilities until we get to this one. But but it's like okay, and then we're also seeing like all right, the development of this boy Finney and how he goes from he's a scared little boy to putting the paws on people.
Oh, we will get to that.
To which he immediately became my favorite character, especially in this movie. Um,
Mhm. Yeah, so I definitely enjoyed this movie. Well, the previous movie as well. And we'll talk about like the comparisons between the two, but how the previous movie was so contained to just like mostly that single room. Obviously, we had Gwen in the background having her dreams, doing her investigation, but I mean, a lot of it was just Finn in the room with the grabber, his brother obviously coming in at one part of it, but also listen to the kids and how the attention to detail in that movie also tracks to this movie. So that was something that I really appreciated with that. So, any other thing, just like pre-spoiler chat that you want to get into it?
Primarily that yeah, just this movie. It's this the original Black Phone. There's this movie, and something I just realized that there's this movie called VHS 85, which is part of the VHS franchise,
Mm.
and that franchise is like an anthology horror movie, but this one anthology, like it has a segment that literally takes place between the first movie and this.
Whoa.
Uh, yeah, did not know that was even a thing, but yeah, but it doesn't have like any bearing. It's just like, oh yeah, just like, hey, back in the day, like my cousin out here murdered a renowned serial killer. And it's just like, oh, and like called him out by name. It wasn't
Dang.
no nameless. It was my cousin Finney out here
Wow.
killed the grabber. It's like, whoa. How did I not know this?
That's crazy.
But yeah, just in terms of this movie, like it's like yeah. All you have to do is really just watch the first one, and then you'll
Mhm.
be good.
All right, so for our reviews, we're introducing two new questions for sequels, legacy, requels, remakes, reboots, and then also prequels. So the first one beforehand, before we get into the actual review, will be, was this movie necessary? And then once we finish our review, the question will be, did the movie justify being made? So going into this first question, Mitch, did you think this sequel was necessary? And we're
Honestly,
only taking into account just after the first movie.
yeah. Like again, like right after the first movie, it was basically clear cut, set and done. It's like one of those movies that was like very self-contained. Like it very much had a clear start, middle, and end. And you get the satisfying payoff at the end. There was like no cliffhangers. There was no like other explanations needed. Uh, sure you may like have a question like, oh yeah, it's like, hey, why in the world does Gwen have like psychic abilities and dreams like that? But that's not like one of those things you be like, they need a whole movie just dedicated to just that. It's
Hmm.
like if they didn't answer that, that's fine. It's what it is. So like honestly, like going into it, I was like, a sequel wasn't necessary. And then they pulled out the trailer, and you're just like, yep, all right, I'm interested.
Yeah, so similar to you, it explains a lot in this movie. So once we get to the real we'll see the answer, my like second answer. But for it again, once the first movie ended, it was because hey, the goal was to escape the grabber and then also, find the boys, put them at rest. Not only did he escape the grabber, but he killed the grabber himself, and then they also found the boys. So I kind of felt that at the end of that one, because I even remember talking to you where I was like, I was really surprised that they made another movie. I was like, this didn't need it. And I don't even know how this is possible. So for that answer, no. Again, we're going to, after the review, answer the second question. Did the movie justify being made? So we're going to go into full spoiler reviews for Black Phone 2 and 3, 2, 1.
All right, so with this movie, it actually starts off with the phone call being made by this woman named Hope. And if you remember, uh like Gwen and Finney's mom's name is Hope. So like you're basically hearing her like have a conversation out in the snow, and then it cuts to Finney putting the pause on a student. So of course this is set 4 years later, which actually correlates to real life because this movie came out 4 years after the original. So the characters are 4 years older in real time, and you can actually see it.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
and Finney, he is built, and he built for violence. He out here putting the pause on anybody calling him out because, like, oh yeah, because he has a reputation of being, oh, you were the one who killed the infamous grabber. You don't look so tough, and then you see for yourself why he's tough.
Yeah, and like that scene, and then obviously later with his dad, I was like, "Yo, this is Big Finn now.
Hmm.
Respect my name."
Yep, yep. So it's him. Gwen is out here like she's out here with Ernesto, who's the brother of Robin, who had died in the last movie.
Mm.
And yeah, and look like they about to have like a relationship. They going out to see Duran Duran. At first I thought it was saying Durara. I'm like, hold on, hold on. That anime did not come out in the 80s. Get it right. But then it's like Gwen ends up
Mhm.
having a dream. Of course, oh, of course, like during this time, Finn he actually takes up smoking some of that Zaza, that devil's lettuce, that
Mary Jane.
yep, Mary Jane Watson. That's his favorite friend right now, and just and he's like having many hallucinations of the grabber. As he saw, it's like he just sees it and then he takes a puff of smoke and it's gone. But yeah, Gwen has a dream. She ends up at a phone and she ends up having a conversation. No, 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 wait, that's right after.
There were like two straight dreams back to back.
Yeah, it's two dreams back to back. So, but the initial dream was like she sees a child just frozen in the cold, and he just writes W in the ice. And then she wakes up and she's also just as cold, and turns out she was sleepwalking again. But Finn stops her. So she goes and does some research, is like, okay, I know this camp. Tries to talk with her dad about it. His dad just like, whatever. But hey, this is actually where your mom was at. So of course they come up with an excuse to try to go as camp counselors in training. Uh like just the three of them, Finney, Ernesto, and Gwen, they all go because hey, Ernesto is let in on the plan.
He was simping at first,
Oh, the
but
sip the sip
be-
levels was strong.
no, it was crazy because at first when they showed it, it was just gonna be him, Ernesto and her, and I was like, "You
Mhm.
about to get this man killed."
Oh nah, I was like, listen, as a as an older brother, Finn, you know better.
No, that was super
And
cool. Like how him and his dad were both posted up.
yep, yep, is like, oh yeah, yeah, it's the 1-2. It's like I don't like this kid, and the kid don't like he. So yeah, so all three of them they get up to this youth camp. Turns out it's a heavy blizzard, so it's only them, some of the counselors, and the head advisor Armando. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, and then so they're there. They're just they oh yeah, they are now in the cabins. Uh they yeah, they're asleep, but Gwen gets she has another dream of another boy. And this and as she's asleep, Finn actually hears the payphone ring.
Which is the
And
second time in the movie.
yes, it's the second time in the movie, and his whole thing is like whenever he answers it, he said like, "Hey, I can't help you," and then hangs it up. But he goes in there, he hears it. It's like there's some kids. They're like, hey, they're asking for help. Like it turns like they don't know like who they are. They don't know how they died. They don't know what in the world's happening. All right, uh, and they just want to be free because they're not supposed to be here. So they're like, what in the world's happening? Cut to Gwen. And Gwen, she is having a freak out as well. So Gwen is going, she's like sleepwalking as well. And she gets like another dream of one of the boys and also gets like a dream about said boy. Uh and I believe this is the part where like she looks under the bed and then like the boys all appear.
Oh, yes.
And this is where I need to get into a story of my theater experience.
Go for it.
All right, so I went and saw this movie like on Saturday night, which is yesterday at the time of this recording. I saw it with the first lady, and it's at 9 o'clock at night. And unironically, because every single seat in that theater was packed.
Whoa,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
Every single seat in that theater was packed.
Whoa,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. It was a packed theater.
I love
And
it.
we just decided to go on a whim, and it was like two seats left next to each other. It was like, thank you. So we're in there, and like we're just like hugged up, huddled, and cuddling and whatnot. And that part comes in while she looks under. As soon as the boys appear and jump scare, the first lady headbutts me, and I actually start bleeding. And I knew I was like, even though it's dark and thing, I knew I was bleeding because I start tasting iron in my mouth.
Oh, boy.
I'm like, did you just headbutt me? I'm
Oh,
like, what the heck? Like, what do I do to deserve it? So yes, I have to confess that that the relationship has become a domestic violence. I need help. Please call the authorities. I need help. But yes, let's just say at the end of this movie, I was actually not scared of the movie. I was scared more of her reaction at said movie because my life was legit in danger.
the
Uh,
headbutt of justice.
she gave me the Tanjiro special. Uh,
I'm guessing you had to tough it out the entire rest of the movie.
I did, I did. I
Oh,
had to thug it
man.
out. I had to thug it out. But if you want to take over from that part,
That's rough. I'm sorry you had a concussion for the second half of the movie. But yeah, so just kind of covering basically what you touched on with Finn before they went to the camp, he answered a black phone. But after he hung it up, it said it was out of order, leading into like when they are at the camp, the phone doesn't work. It's not been working again. So it's this Finn hearing stuff still connected to the afterlife, if you will, kind of in that supernatural state of it. And so with the trauma that he's been having for the past 4 years, he's been kind of like running away from it, telling Gwen, you'll go back to sleep. It's just a bad dream. Ignore it and stuff like that. So for me, it was actually interesting this part because we talked about tropes in movies of like, don't go there, don't open the door, don't
mm-hmm,
investigate and stuff like
mm-hmm,
that. So when Gwen was like, "Oh, I had a dream of, the kid that was frozen at first. I was like, girl, don't go to this camp, please. The second one is when I changed my mind. And this is what I really loved about the movie. When I saw he chopped the kid up, burned him, and then threw him in the ice, I'm like, I gotta get my get back. I'm sorry.
I
I
honestly,
gotta get my
honestly, same. Because, like, oh yeah, in the theater, right? Because again, packed theater, everyone was expressive. Was like, "Don't you dare!" Everyone was like, "Don't do it. Do not do it." And she does it anyway. Just like, skin to win, people.
But
Skin to
that's not even the biggest get back, which we'll get to. So with
win.
that, the boy that was burned, he touches her arm, which singes her. And we see the second or third kind of like iteration of, oh, whatever is happening to her in her dreams is happening to her in real life. Because like when she was sleepwalking before they went to the camp, she walked in blood back to the grabber's old home, and then her socks have blood on it, even though there was no blood on the floor. So this was the second time. So she goes to, actually, Finn wakes her up out of the dream. She ends up being like, "Hey, I'm having a bad dream," and goes to Ernesto. And I was like, at first when she was like that, I thought she was going to Finn it, but she went to Ernesto. I was like, Ernesto, not fumbling, dude. This man, he has an
Oh
award coming later. He did not fumble at all in
nah,
this
he was the Riz
he was
general.
Larson.
The Riz general. I'm like, so, but also like the theater was laughing because when he was like rizzing her up like in the bed, and she's like, oh, I think it's actually pretty hot the way you pray to Jesus. Everyone was like, sir,
That
you
was
risen
so,
in the name of Jesus?
dude. I have a story, but the spy would interrogate me so bad because it's not about the spy, so I can't tell it.
You gotta tell me off air. Gotta tell me off air.
Right. So, so with that, it was funny because Finn was awake. He was like, "Hey, y'all having this full-on conversation
It's like,
while
bro,
I'm
I'm
here."
trying to not listen, yet I can't help but to
So,
listen.
so fast forward to the next morning. Who was the head of the camp again? Armando?
Armando.
So he's like, "Hey, I know you went to the boys' cabin. You're not supposed to do that. State regulations. You won't get my camper's license." And also, over the course of this, like you mentioned, there's only a few people here because of the blizzard. So he's trying to figure out, yo, what's going on? What's going on? And then this part, I know you caught it because you watched the boys when they were like, "Hey, who's your mom?" And then she was explaining, and he was like, "Twilight. What was it?
Starlight.
Starlight?
It was
Starlight?" I was like,
Starlight.
"What?"
It was
That's
like Starlight. I'm
crazy.
like, hold on. Are you? I'm like, hold on. What you? Your mom Annie?
Homelander is the grabber.
It's like,
So
Annie, are you okay?
so with that, then that transitions to them going to the two useless people in the movie. I'm not
Oh
actually
my
sure. I'm
Lord.
not actually sure why they were in the movie, but a feckless guy and then Barbara, who again was moving like the nun from Midnight Mass.
Woo.
All right, so Gwen is like, "Hey, we're not about to be cherry picking scripture out here." So she kind of comes back at her, and I was over the course of the movie, I was like, "Hey, if you had a camp where three kids disappeared, how are you still open? This Camp Crystal Lake situation that we got going on."
That's a
So,
reference too to another horror franchise. I'm telling y'all the real one later after this movie's over.
so with that, just kind of fast forwarding. So again, she's having the nightmares. Fang gets another call, and this is where the grabber truly reveals himself and is like just slowly explaining, like, "Hey, you forced me, quote unquote, forced me to take out the person that I love the most. Do you know what my plan is? My plan is to take out the person that you love the most that you can't defend, so obviously being Gwen." So with that, on the flip side, Gwen's sleeping again. I'll leave the reference to this movie to you when you make it, but Gwen is then attacked in her sleep, and I mean this man this man grabber was moving recklessly. He was legit tossing her, spinning her around. So this is where everyone else is kind of like, oh, we finally see what's happening. Which at first I didn't think they would do it. Where I thought it would kind of be like contain, 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 but this is where like everyone is like, oh, something weird is going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was also thinking like, okay, this is gonna be one that, oh yeah, they're not gonna believe her. They're not gonna believe him at all. And
Yes.
then it's only like towards the end when the real crazy stuff started happening. Then they start believing. It's like, nope, nope, crazy happens starting immediately. All
Hmm.
right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get this dream demon out the way. Wink,
Absolutely.
wink.
So Ernesto say and Mustang say who is the niece of the camp owner saves her from getting put into the fire and the flames. So with that, then they have to obviously have a team meeting to be like, yo, get this devil child out of here.
Yup, and of course, in this is where Mondo like he starts like he basically like listening to Gwen and everyone because like, hey, we saw some crazy stuff just happen. So there's nothing you say like I can't believe, and they're talking about like how, oh yeah, yeah, three boys they've gone missing and whatnot, and Gwen starts saying details about the kids like, oh yeah, one got burned, one got cut in half, and et cetera, et cetera, and it's like, oh dang, oh, and Armando immediately believes because like these are details that only a select few know, so it's like, all right, he's on board. Of course, Barbin, oh, what's his name? I'm just
Doesn't
gonna
matter.
Yep, yep. Fodder number one. I'm just gonna call him fodder. Like they just in the bag, basically, fuming. And then of course this is when Finney reveals like it's like, hey, why is this happening? He's like, hey, remember the grabber? And then Romano's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was killed by some guy named Finn. Oh my God, it's you.
It's me, big dog.
Yeah. So yeah, he's back. And from there, they're like coming with a plan. It's like, all right, if we, it's like, hey, we need to figure out like why this camp specifically, like why is the paranormal activity starting at this point? It's like, no, it acts like, hey, when did it start happening? Like 4 years ago. It's like, you mean after I killed the man? So it's like, yeah, he's come back to the camp, aka where his first murders started happening, and we find out the grabber's actually named Bill Hitch. I'm gonna name him Hitchcock. I know that's not his last name,
Wow,
but
Bill Hitch.
it's Wild Bill Hitchcock. Which is what the kids keep like referred to in Gwen's jeans. Basically the whole idea is like, hey, we need to go find the bodies. They deduce that it's more than likely at the frozen lake because that was the one area that the police could not search because it's a frozen lake.
Hmm.
Uh, so they all go out at the
No, here's the thing. The police couldn't do it, but five people could just go out and do it.
over the course of like 2 to 3 days. Crazy, crazy work.
But keep
Uh,
going.
but yeah, so moving on. This is where, and then of course, like next part, Amando, like he reading through scripture, looking over the three dead boys. Then he gets basically a radio visit from Wild Bill, who's like, my name is not Bill. I am not Bill. And he gets jump scared. Cut to the next morning. This is when they start looking. Uh, they start looking, and then, oh yeah, they haven't found a body yet. But then they go to sleep, or Gwen goes to sleep. This is when the crazy reveal
This
happens.
is when the get back.
This is when the get back had to become mandatory. All right, so Gwen, like she's basically having a dream about her mother Hope on a specific night, and she sees like, hey, she's at a certain house, a certain house that Finney may be very familiar with, if you know, catch my drift. Sees a boy in the basement, and then sees her get snatched up by the grabber, to which our ghost grabber, he's like, hey, come into the van, to which I would have said, no, you gonna have to force me in that van.
It was a kindness.
It was a kindness, my foot man. All right, so what? Yeah, and essentially what happened is that he took her to their home, and it's revealed that the grabber was the one who killed Finney and Gwen's mother. It wasn't a suicide as everyone believed. It was actually because of the fact that he found her out using her using her abilities, and he just staged it to look like suicide.
Which
And
is crazy.
it's
She
like,
because she could have stopped the first grabbing that happened.
yeah, cause yeah, this was the first grabbing that happened in their area, and
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
yeah, cause yeah, this was the first grabbing that happened in their area, and if she would have been successful, then Finney wouldn't have gotten kidnapped. But then Grabber may still been alive. But hey,
Yeah.
have to take what you can give. But
This part of the movie elevated the movie for me because I was feeling it obviously like I said like don't go there and then the second one happened but then when they had the mom reveal I was like no we got to get the smoke. Finn gave it to you in real life, you got to get it in this afterlife. It's not good.
there is
It's,
no there is no rest for you at
you
this
can't
point.
duck this fate.
Uh but yeah, so then he tries killing her. But Gwen, and of course like her injuries start happening to her in real life. Like a certain Kruger in a like a certain
Hmm.
nightmare Alpine camp. But then she goes like, "Wait, hold on. This is a dream. And in this dream, I got power too."
Hmm.
Boom. Attempts to go Super Saiyan, fails. But
Is this the same dream where also Armando almost got like knocked into the lake, or is this a
yes,
different?
it's the
Okay, yes,
same dream. Like, because at this point she's trapped in the payphone booth while
yes.
watching Armando basically get drowned out by the
That
grab.
was a cool scene. How he like just
Cool
like
as
slid
hell.
in and then boom at the same time.
Yeah, and it's because of the fact like it was established that he's actually a really good ice skater, and his ghost form has like his feet become ice skates made of
Mhm,
ice. But yeah, so she wakes up. Of course, at this point, the dad arrives. Like he's comes like, "Hey, I come to take y'all home from the blizzard," and they're like, "No." Like Gwen's like, "No."
mhm.
Benny's like, I need you to go. Because
Yes.
right before this, him and Armando had a talk about like just how angry Finney is and like how much anger he has because of the fact that like, hey, I had all this trauma that's happened to me, and he's hiding it under anger and under the weed. Uh to which Armando takes the weed from him. So he had to hit that last puff. Uh hit that one last puff. And of course, this is when the dad pops up. The three of them had an argument where Gwen's like, "Hey, you never had any friends, Finney. Like you're just hiding behind the weed, and whatnot." And Finney just breaks down because like, "Hey, I'm so scared, and I don't want to be scared anymore, and
Mhm,
I'm afraid that I can't protect you from the grabber because of the fact that he's attacking you in your dreams, and I can do nothing about that uh,
mhm.
until later." And of course, like he goes after. Then she turns on the dad,
Yeah.
which was crazy. I was like, dang, that's because he's like, hey, I'm ordering you to go home with me. He's like,
Mhm.
no, you never seem like care. You always seem uh like so detached from everything. Well, here's some news for both of y'all. I know what happened to mom that night. And Finney's like, hold on. He's like, hold on. What you know? And it's like, it the grabber took our mom. And he's like,
Jeez.
oh nah. Yeah, and of course, this is when the dad breaks down because, like, at this point, like now he fully believes, like, in the psychopath because, like, hey, she says details like only he knew, like during that
Yep.
night. Uh, and also it's like, hey, did mom have like dreams about a certain boy? It's like, oh, yeah,
Yeah. So that was tough. And to give the dad credit because in the last movie he was such a jerk.
yeah,
But like this movie, like he's been sober for almost 3 years, is what he said. He would have got his third year token or badge. With that, so and then like obviously he was there for his kids. Like he drove all the way through a blizzard to plow through and come to them. So Definitely want to give him credit there, but he felt sorry because he was like, "Yo, if I would have just believed my wife in that moment, maybe she wouldn't have taken herself." So he lived with a lot of guilt for a long time, basically since she passed away. So just with that, and then also just to give a little bit more context to the grabber, the reason he's so powerful. Now, this we can kind of get into after we get done with the review. The reason he's so powerful is because when he died, when Finn killed him, his soul somehow returned to the Camp Crystal Lake. I know it's not called that, but returned to the camp. And then, since that was the place where he started his killing, and the boys were also not at peace, he was able to feed off of their fear and gain, it's not mystical, but supernatural powers through that.
Yep, so he crawled straight from the icy hell just to get his revenge, specifically on Finney for killing him.
Yep.
And now we get to the climax, the finale, where all right, everyone has finally decided, all right, we need to like get these boys, put them to rest, and then and also old yeah, old girl Mustang, she calls upon Fodder and Barbara. It's like, hey, it's like, listen, get up at the crack of dawn. Don't make me have to come here twice.
Yes, because before that they found one, but they
Yes,
still needed to find the other two.
yes, and they're like, and Barb, of course, like, no, this is Devil Child. Is like, listen, and she hits him with the ultimate clapback, which is, oh, hiding from dangerous circumstances and leaving it to us. Is that very Christian like of you? And it's like,
Message.
it's like, ooh, ooh. Oh, I felt that. I felt it. I felt it. Oh yeah, clock it, clock it, clock it. But yeah, so now they're all at the lake. They're all doing their part. Uh, and of course they reach like the end of the day, and then Gwen just falls asleep on the Zombino or on the snow shoveler. At this point, the grabber goes in. Like,
Okay. So for this for you, obviously we'll explain it a little bit. So throughout the entire movie, we kind of see that he's not able to truly interact with people or like the outside environments, mostly just with Gwen. He does cut on the furnace. Well,
and
it's
he
not a
does
furnace,
throw
but
like pots and
the
pans.
snow. But it's really interesting because like at this part, he's almost as if he's at the height of his powers, even though they did find the one kid, which was really interesting. Maybe he was just playing it to get to, the bloody finale.
Maybe, or maybe it's the case like he just was continually growing over time.
Possible, yeah.
Where this was the apex of his powers. Like, yeah, they found one of the three Horcruxes, but it still ain't all three Horcruxes. So
Fair.
yeah, so at this point, Gwen, like in the dream world, she dives underneath the water to just find the rest of the bodies. At this time, Grabber goes crazy. He removes his mask to reveal his gnarly skin and
Oof.
teeth. Because of the fact the mask was basically iced onto his face,
Yeah.
and he takes out the fodder. He goes after Fodder and Barbara first, which I'm like, yep, yep, get them first because
I thought they would die for sure.
that's why I keep calling him out because like y'all should be dead.
I thought he was about to cleave their heads clean off.
Yeah, it's like as soon as he grabbed old boy, it's like, yep, he gone. And it's like, nope, he's still alive. Like, dang. And then of course he grabs her, Barb, and I thought like he slices them in half. It's like, nope, dang it.
That's yeah.
Like, dang it, I want some more bodies. But in any case, then he goes to Finney.
Wanted that smoke.
Yeah, he wanted that smoke immediately. It's like, huh, how the tables have turned, and starts choking him out the same way he got his neck snapped before
Crazy.
going the traditional choking route.
Mm.
And then at this point, of course, Gwen is like getting the bodies out. Of course, like her dad goes in and starts getting the bodies too because the grabber had knocked the first body back into the lake. So he
Yeah.
went to retrieve that one, and then Gwen got the other two. Uh, of course, by this point, Finney's like he realized, okay, I think I kind of know where the grabber is. bam, knocks him off him, and then the grabber is about to go and attack Gwen, but the boys step in because their bodies have been found, drains him of his remaining power, and this is where my favorite sequence of the movie happens, where Gwen uses the axe to slice him in the head, remove the mask. Finney, like at this point, he just crawls on the invisible grabber. He's like feels where his head is. He's
Mhm.
like, "You didn't mess with the wrong family today, boy." Bam! And just starts bashing his face into the ice
Yes.
before, and then he keeps doing it. Gwen cuts off his leg, cuts off like the grabber's feet, so they can drag him into the water,
Hmm.
and the rest of the boys, their bodies drag him back into hell.
Nice.
Oh man, and that's and right and the next day they look up like, whew, finally over, and then Gwen gets the most emotional call of all time from the black phone, where it's from their mama, straight from heaven, telling how proud she was, how much she loves both of them, how much they miss her, and the other way around, and just and basically tells them like, hey, this power of yours was never a curse.
Hmm.
It never was. I was like, it's a blessing. Like I literally just finished it. I was like, it's a blessing. Like right there in the theater. But then she gives Finney a message from Robin, and then of course, like she tells them, they're crying, and then they leave. Happy ending. Oh yeah, and of course Ernesto gets the kiss he always wanted.
That's the kiss right after they killed the
Yep,
grabber.
right, yep, is like the post murder kiss.
So, man, what I really like that last sequence where it's like they're fighting in two different kind of not timelines, but two different
Different
worlds to kind
planes.
of yeah, to like come together. So that kind of like you mentioned the Horcrux that made me think of that one. Then there's been like other movies and TV shows where it's kind of like we have to do these two things at the exact same time, and if we don't do it together, it won't work. But I do like how go
I
ahead.
would say it's a Demon Slayer.
Exactly. So, just kind of like coming together with that, and you see just brother and sister, her in her different realm, and then him in the waking world, kind of just posing over the grabber and like being at peace with that. So it was really interesting. Like this movie, similar to the first one, where the first one had a small cast. I feel like this one even had a smaller cast because with the first one, they still had like, Gwen's perspective having to go out into the world. This one was really isolated to just like the camp, and there was like 10 people or less.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai.
Was really isolated to just like the camp, and there was like 10 people or less. Um, if you don't include the boys. So I really like this movie. And for the second question, did the movie justify being made? Once they introduced the part with the mom, I was like, absolutely. It makes sense now how, him taking the mom and how they had to get revenge. I do think like the one thing that did take me off, it wasn't like related to like what the makers of the movie, but what did take me off is like so the three kids got killed, right? And
Yep.
they're like been stuck for 20 years, right? This dude gets killed and 3 years later he's super powerful. Boy, what?
And
I would have been so mad.
I I I think they also kind of well, he kind of explains it like in like the grabbers van ride. He's like,
Mhm.
hey, hell strips you of like rips you of your humanity to where only the anger and the hatred is left, and I am chock full of it. So that was like I was like, okay, he is
I get
so
it.
mad and so angry that like, yeah, he's that powerful. But yeah, from the
I get
perspective of
it.
the kids, I'd be pissed too.
I get it. They explained it that way. Then they explained it with he's like feeding off the kids' fears because they're not at rest. Boy, I would have been so mad if he,
Ooh.
like we said, we got to get the smoke. So, any other big talking points that you want of it?
Oh man, I think of course just the idea of like, hey, overcome overcoming the trauma through togetherness through not shutting people out but letting them in.
Hmm.
Like in this case, primarily Finney is the main one because like he was hiding it, and it was like only after like he like finally let his family in on like what he's basically been going through, just mentally. That's when they finally were able to work together because none of their other plans been working.
And so, do we want to touch on the two horror franchises that they definitely drew inspiration from
Oh, a
in this
thousand
movie?
percent.
So, so yeah, if you
Oh
want
yeah.
to.
Okay, so of course the idea of killings happening at a campsite that obviously invoke with with an undead serial killer that obviously invokes Friday the 13th, right? Like that part, yeah. We all kind of get that. But this one, this movie is in everything but name a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
They were egregious with it.
Like the fact of okay, a human serial killer becomes a demon who attacks people through their dreams, which injuries start reflecting in the real life at that current moment in time, and he has a strange obsession with kids.
Yeah.
That is Freddy Krueger to the T, with the only difference is that he was clearly not as powerful, and the fact that, oh,
Wait, the
you
grabber wasn't as powerful, right?
the grabber is not as
Okay.
powerful as Freddy. My bad. Didn't want to confuse the audiences, but especially considering the fact that with Freddy, you get attacked in your dreams. There's the only thing a person in the waking world can do is try to wake you up.
Yeah.
Uh, but with the grabber, you can beat on the grabber even when one person's asleep. It's like, okay, she's asleep. He around here somewhere. Fortunately, they're on a frozen lake where you can see where he's probably tracking.
Yeah, it's interesting because how that worked is that yes, he was affecting Gwen in her dreams, but technically he was within a realm that wasn't necessarily the waking or the living, which is how they were able to get him. But as you mentioned, like with because like even that's why I asked like with that final fight scene is like, they were interacting along with him, or at least Finn was in terms of fighting and everything, and he was interacting with the living. Whereas with Freddy, like you mentioned, it's either you wake up or it's it. I do, you know this better than me, but in some of the Friday the 13th, were people able to like kind of control their dreams just a little bit?
Friday the 13th?
Not Friday, sorry, A
Oh,
Nightmare
yeah,
on Elm
Nightmare on
Street.
Elm Street. That was basically the whole premise of the third, fourth, and fifth Nightmare movies, where certain people are capable of fully controlling their dreams and
Mhm.
try to use it to empower themselves before realizing Freddy can do the exact same.
Yes, and to extent, because I was thinking of also Freddy versus Jason. To an extent, in almost every Nightmare on Elm Street, how they kind of did get Freddy was they, grabbed him and then brought him back to the world of the living in order to kind of like have that. So with Freddy versus Jason, and then also in this movie, it made me think of like how she had to interact in the, I'm gonna just call it dream world, and then in
Yep.
Freddy versus Jason, they had to send Jason in order to get Freddy out for that.
Ooh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, very true, very true. It's just like yeah, in this case, like, okay, we need to strike on two separate fronts.
mhm.
And yeah, and in Freddy versus Jason, they needed Jason like in the physical world because there was no way he was not winning in the dream world. It's like, all right, he
He
be
he
awake.
tried.
Well, he tried, and he was gonna succeed until Freddy found out he has a deep seated fear of drowning. No, he does
Yes.
not have a fear of water. That is not the intent of that scene. I will argue that to the day I die. But he does have a fear of deep seated fear of drowning because that was the only thing that killed him.
Hmm.
Or only thing that killed him while he was alive.
Yes.
And then of course, like, all right, we need to get somebody to pull Freddy out into the real world where he can get
The
the
pause.
belt to behind.
Yes. All right. So with this, because this is the second movie, and we know how horror movies work, do you think that they will try to make a Black Phone 3?
Oh man. Oh man. So So,
Because one thing that they could probably do is be like, let's go to the mom, and if she solved any other things beforehand or in the interim.
so the only ways, literally the only way, because at least with this one, right, it's like, okay, it kind of makes sense. Like, yeah, the grabber was killed by the very black phone, so it would make sense for him to somehow use that conduit to continue killing from the afterlife. That makes a whole lot of sense. I don't know how in the world they can do a Black Phone 3 if it ever be a thing, just beyond the idea of either A, as you mentioned, focusing on the mom and like the investigations like she could potentially have before her death. That's one. Two is as I said, I mentioned the whole VHS thing. Just having different series focusing less on the Finney family or the Blake family and focusing on like other events happening within that same world. Uh,
Y-
just
Yeah,
like in
but
VHS.
yeah, because you know very well that with horror movies, if it's successful, it's either one movie and that becomes a cult classic, or it's a franchise. They rarely go to just a second movie and that's the end of it. And especially with how this ended, I'm definitely like, I don't know what more you can pull from the bone on this movie. So, yeah, that's definitely gonna be interesting. So, if there's nothing else, we can get into the award.
Woo. All right. So for my first award, my first award goes to none other than the I Did a Thing, uh, where uh where characters did literally nothing this whole movie, and it goes to none other than Barbara and fodder number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of y'all come on down. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and just for this time only, I'm gonna figure out the name of that one guy. Oh, Kenneth. Kenneth, come on down. Barbara, you too, because both y'all did absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, the one purpose I thought y'all were set up for, y'all didn't even do that. So
I,
y'all get a meta. I did a thing.
I wonder if there was more that got edited out with them.
Had to.
Because they literally did like absolutely nothing in the movie. So I like that though. We could have just t-shirt Ken in their award to them.
Yep, absolutely getting grabbed.
So for this award, Ernesto, come on up because we have the Rizzler Award. The way he was bold with it because obviously he just got done witnessing Finn beat somebody up, and he was driving in a smooth, I don't think it was a Cadillac, but a smooth car right next to Gwen, and I thought he was going to hit someone, to be honest with you. But he was like, "Hey, I'm going to get these tickets to see Duran Duran. I was already planning to get two tickets, quote unquote. I mean, if you want to come, you can come. Whatever." It's like, yo, I got the bread for it. So right next to her brother, so bold with it. So managed to take her to see Duran Duran. He was with it for he was with it for just going to the camp, and she told him in advance what was going to happen, which I at first I didn't know that was going. I thought she just was like, "Hey, can you go with me to this place?" And then also with it, obviously the part where he was comforting her, and he was like, he was down for it, knowing that her brother, who literally took out a serial killer, and her dad, didn't necessarily like him to start with. So, gotta give him the Rizzler Award.
Oh, all right. So for my next award, it's none other than the Op of the Year. This goes to none other than Wild Bill Hitchcock, the Grabber, Ethan Hawke. Come on down because you out here doing the absolute most. You straight up took another villain's MO just so you can run the fade on this one family. The family fade is generational. You might be on a nearly the same level as Dio Brando, the same level as Muzan Jackson. with the way you going after a whole bloodline. Because how in the world you go after the mother, then the son, and now the daughter?
Ridiculous.
Man, if the Blake if Finney has a child and if Gwen has a child, I wouldn't put it past for the grabbers. You're like, oh nah, I'm coming back. I need to run that fade one more time.
You just made the third movie, Beach.
Dang it! Dang it! I just did. Oh no, 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 no! I just did it. I just did it. Oh Lord.
Okay.
All right. So, but yes, grabber, come down, get this op of the year award.
Before you sit down, come get this Freddy Krueger award, which we talked about. Obviously taking the MO of one of the
This audio was created with podcastle.ai.
talked about. Obviously taking the MO of one of the legendary slashers in all of the horror genre with that. So you can also get the Freddy Krueger award. All right. Do you have any other awards?
For my last award, I'm giving the We Jumpin' Now award.
Yeah.
Goes to none other than Gwen and Finney, the sibling duo in two different planes coming together to put the pause on Grabba to get that generational get back in a satisfying way that none of us could. And for Finney, this was he is 2-0
Yes.
the grabber. Gwen
Yes.
1-0. Grabber 1 for 3.
That's a good point. Honestly, you could almost even say like one is like 1.5 because she was the assist with the boys and she was the reason that he got caught. Well, he technically didn't get caught because he died, but with that, I got to give the Gwen 10 award because Gwen in this movie was essentially the main character. A lot of what she was doing was driving the plot of the story. She was also just kind of like in on it. And again, we mentioned that we don't really like the trope of, hey, don't go there, don't do this XYZ, but her motivations were valid to an extent. Whereas it's like, hey, this is kind of like torturing me, these dreams. Let's make things right. So I got to give it to Gwen. She did her thing in this movie. So that's the Gwen 10 award. So done with awards. Now let's get into the tiers of the movie. If you can read them off for us.
All right, all right, so for the names of for our tiers, we have the F tier, D tier, C tier, B tier, A tier, and the cream of the crop, the elite of the elite S tier. Where are you getting this movie?
Ooh. For a while, I was like, this is a just a very solid B tier. Okay, we needed to make a sequel with it. But then there were like just so many different aspects of the movie that I feel like elevated where I was like, hey, even though I think that coming to the camp was dumb, you have now given me very good reasons why they should be at the camp and justified to finish off the grabber. So I'm gonna go at A tier.
Mm. Yes, I really like this movie. I really liked just how well it was done. The fact that they took a movie that technically didn't need a sequel in the first place and created a very satisfying sequel that built upon the themes of the first movie while also giving like its own heartbreaking spin to it. I would definitely like to give this movie an A tier. I would definitely one that I'll go back to, especially since it's the closest thing I'll ever get to another Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Yeah, that's cooked. So with that, man, I really enjoy this movie because like sometimes people make sequels and it's just like why? Like you could have just left this at home. This was a paycheck. But for this one, I definitely feel like they put a lot of effort into it. And with the creators, if they were to make another one, I could trust that. It's just I don't think another one needs to be made. So with that, we will get into the what's hot. So that's what's popular in anime, TV shows, movies, and the like. So Meech, what you got?
All right, so for anime, we have My Hero Academia is all the way cooking with its final season. We have One Piece is staying good. We also have our favorite Spy Family, always being wholesome. One Punch Man, that one punch, man, got you, Kuda. Really good show. I'm really getting deep into it. In the realm of TV, we have Love is Blind, season 9. The wedding episode drops at the time of this video, so if you're if you're in deep with this, watch it as soon as you're done listening to us. We also have in the realm of just comics right now. Oh yeah, and also Gen V. And
Season
then
finale this week.
yep, season finale. Yep, I almost forgot about that. Also Invincible had released a trailer. It's yes, the next season's coming out very soon.
March
Uh,
26th.
yep, very very soon. You don't have to wait too long. But as for the comic sphere, the Absolute Universe is absolutely cooking. R.I.P. to Batman. Batman is I don't know how he gonna make it out of this one. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and then we also have the Ultimate Universe for man. I'm sad to see this one in. I just hope it's just a rebranding or B just characters are just gonna they're gonna be under a new label or a new name or something. I need these people to stay alive, stay out there, especially Ultimate Spider-Man, especially Ultimate Peter Parker and Ultimate Venom. I need y'all to stay cooking. Speaking of cooking, there's also Hulk. I know I hadn't talked about Hulk in a while, but let's just say this last issue of Incredible Hulk, something big didn't happen, which leads into a new series called Infernal Hulk.
Ooh,
Uh,
interesting.
and all I know is that at this point, Bruce is not the Hulk anymore, but a demon
Yeesh.
is. Uh,
Interesting.
so good luck to the Marvel Universe. Also, Venom is still Venom right now. I don't care what's happening to MJ. Uh, what I what I need is for Eddie brought back in the sea. I need Flash Thompson. I just need the boys back together once again. Sorry. It's not a feminine thing. It's just the fact MJ is better used as a Spider Man wife, if you will. But unfortunately, they seem content on not giving us that.
Oh, the rule is that they can't get married. Did you see that?
Yeah. That's why I said all I want is
Ridiculous.
for them to be a wife, not just girlfriend, not fiance, wife. But
That's.
hey, at least Peter Parker's cooking out in space.
I have so many thoughts on that, but I'm gonna just leave it alone.
At least Peter Parker is becoming the strongest he's ever been out in space with a techno symbiote suit.
That's what happens when you stop simping, which we said in one of our episodes.
Yes. You stop simping and you focus on yourself. You start locking in. Crazy work, crazy work. But yes, video games. So many to even count. Ghost of Yote. I heard they have a Watanabe mode, or should I say the Samurai Champloo mode. Uh,
Incredible.
dang, I really need to jump in. Really need to jump in, but I haven't had time to. We also have apparently a Halloween game. That's coming through the pipeline too. So
Hmm.
yeah. Also the Wolverine game. The trailer looked absolutely cooking. And this is what I need, baby. This is what I need. I need some snicking. Now we just need a Hulk game and a Ghost Rider game, and we'll be good. We'll be good. We'll be good. But yeah, so that of course movies, like Five Nights at Freddy's 2
Yep.
dropping, Predator Badlands with Demetrius the Predator. We're talking about Predator as in Yacha, not Predator as in Chris Hansen. Um, please do not come, Chris Hansen. Do not come after us. But yeah, so those are like the main things on my radar. What you got?
Just two quick things. I saw that they're making another Evil Dead movie, which I was really surprised about. So that's gonna be called Evil Dead Burns. Uh,
Oh,
so
interesting.
that's what I messaged you about that one time where I was like, oh, Evil Dead is back. They showed like a really quick clip of just kind of someone tweaking. Don't know any other details beyond that. Obviously, Evil Dead is a series that you can always reboot. We really like Evil Dead Rises or Rise. So I'm interested in that. And then this is not what's on tap, but what I was annoyed about after like leaving the theaters is that I saw a Mortal Kombat 2 poster and I was like, that should have
Oh,
came out this month.
oh man, Why
and
do you
we were
just remind me of that?
and we were going to review it, but for whatever reason, they decided to push it back to next year, which is
Hmm.
ridiculous. Because I'm like, so, because I think they made that decision like 2, 3 months ago. So it's like, yo, you thought the movie was good enough to come out in October when you released the second trailer. And then because that trailer broke records, you were like, hey, let's make it better. So what was that going to say about the movie that they made? I think they phoned it in.
They may have just filmed like a certain amount of scenes. It's like, okay, this is good enough for a trailer. Run.
I think it's because obviously the first one came out during COVID, and then they were like, hey, it didn't really get like a theater release truly. And then this one is going to get like a true theater release, and I do think they must have phoned it in.
Woo.
But with that, anything else before we can just move on?
No, no, I think pretty good there.
All right, so next week we have something special for our TikTok users. We will be covering Mara versus Big Jeep and other horror Avengers. I have no idea what this is, so I have a lot of homework I need to do over the course of the next week. But hopefully that's a good one.
Woo! I'm ready for it. You are gonna be in quite a surprise.
All right, so with that, let's get our plugs and get up out of here.
All right, so for our X, formerly known as Twitter, Thread, and Instagram, we're Blurred City 22. Like, comment, subscribe, stay up to date on all notifications. We have our Discord linked in the Instagram page. We also have our YouTube and Patreon under Blurred City Pod. If you want to donate some extra cheddar, you get access to very exclusive episodes like our review on the original Black Phone movie. We also have our email address, blurredcity22@gmail.com. This is where we can get like episode suggestions. We can get things such as your thoughts on Black Phone 2, as well as spam mail that'll never see the light of day. So that's what we have. And then finally, I am the Jedi born on Mustafar on Instagram and TikTok. However long we got TikTok left. What you got?
All right, for my individual author pages, we have my Instagram, Mitri_Dash. That is METRI_DASH. For my X/Twitter, that is at the Mad-16. And if you're interested in my book, Phantom Reckoning, that is available on Amazon, Kindle, and Barnes& and Noble. Also, we have merch. We will keep that going through the end of season 5. So if you're interested, you can see the link in the description below. And then, yeah, look forward to it. Words of encouragement.
All right. So for my words of encouragement is to never shut people out when you're going through issues. If you're going through a traumatic experience, whether PTSD or anything like that, it's always better to talk with someone rather than to keep it all bottled inside.
Nice. And you said exactly what I was going to say. So lovely words to hear. It's not goodbye forever. It's just goodbye for now. And that's the Blurred City Podcast.
See ya later.
This audio was created with Podcastle.ai